So I want to take a moment to present a little bit of information up front about an important law that builds on what Stefan and Eric were just explaining and help set the context for the rest of this conversation, I think. Some of you may be aware of AB 1482, otherwise known as the Tenant Protection Act of 2019. It established a cap on rent increases of 5% plus consumer price index or 10%, whichever is lower. It established some eviction protections, one being that after 1 year of tenancy, a just cause, what Eric was referring to, is required for evictions. However, despite this law, rents continue to climb well beyond the allowable limit, even in units this law is supposed to apply to. So if we look a little bit closer, AB 1482 applies to existing tenants, not new tenants, multifamily homes built before 2005, not homes built within the last 15 years. It applies to single family homes owned by corporations and built before 2005. It does not apply to single family homes owned by individuals or duplexes where the property owner lives in one of the units. As you'll see with our next presenters, Ben and Hortensia, this type of housing stock that this new law does not apply to are exactly the kind of housing stock that dominates in some jurisdictions, like in unincorporated San Mateo County, therefore compounding the challenge. So, and yet, despite this law, a recent study from the Turner Center for Housing Innovation at UC Berkeley found that regardless of unit type, AB 1482 is not very effective. The authors find that the advertised listings for rental units appreciate at higher rates than the rent cap for renewals, and that rental listing prices are rising much faster than in the years prior to 2022. The study finds that this is likely due to a lack of enforcement and monitoring, and the authors highlight the importance of education and awareness in this issue, hence these slides, but also accountability and enforcement at the right governmental level. So I don't want to complicate an already complex terrain here, but I do think this is important to keep in mind and to be aware of as we move forward in this conversation and in our work. So with that, I'd like to pass it off to Ben Cooper and Hortensia Lopez. Ben Cooper is a program manager at Stop Waste, and Hortensia Lopez is a community leader and a recently retired executive director of El Concilio of San Mateo County.